Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for July 25th through 29th, 2022. Well, we're feeling an increase of energy with Mercury and the Sun in Leo. Mercury has come into a trine the last couple of days, and we're feeling this for the next couple of days as well. Mercury in trine with Jupiter at 8 degrees Aries. Now, this new moon that happens on Thursday will be at 5 degrees, 39 minutes, almost 6 degrees, and also in trine to Jupiter. And the sun comes into exact trine with Jupiter on next weekend after this new moon. So we're having a lot of fire, which brings an activation energy, and it's an energy we haven't had so much in recent years. And there's a feeling of new possibilities and opportunities coming, like something's going on. And yet we can't quite feel or sense what that is. And it feels so unknown that it's like we're teetering at the edge with nothing underneath us to catch us in these next steps. Yet we know that we can't go back the way we've come. And so we've got this new moon in Leo on Thursday, and in trine, Mercury, this whole week leading up, feeling Mercury in trine to Jupiter, and then the sun coming into trine with Jupiter. And this expansive fire, it's about grabbing a hold of life again. And so we're feeling this energy, but we also have Jupiter about to turn retrograde. So already kind of just slowed to a stop here at 8 degrees. And so it's kind of this feeling of like, oh, it's out there. I can feel it. It's real. I know it's possible. Something's different, But that whole thing that we've been talking about, that new timeline, that new energy is so different from where we've been conceding to be, where we've been agreeing to the reality of the people around us. And so there's so much in order for us, this particular location in time where we are right now is just a very powerful energy, because we're being shown exactly what is keeping us from making this leap. With this incredibly dynamic set of astrology. So we're feeling this for this week. We're beginning to feel today and up and through the new moon, Venus in conjunction to Black Moon Lilith in Cancer. So we've got this fire activation. We've got this forward motion energy, this push into the new. That's coming from Uranus coming up to its exact conjunction with the North Node. That happens, we're almost there, like they're 1 degree apart, very close. And so this is an awakening and an activation of a new timeline. In Taurus, the new timeline requires a complete and radical shift in our relationship to time, reality, and physical form, and a revolution in our self-worth in Taurus. So it's like we're examining it's like, oh yeah, it's out there, it's real. You've been dreaming this, you've been holding on to this dream while everyone around you questioned it for so long, lifetimes. And you can feel that maybe it is real. And yet, in that realization, it feels so far away, because we recognize and we realize where we haven't been living those truths. So Venus conjunct Black Moon Lilith is crucial energy for us to figure this out. This is happening at 11 degrees Cancer. Cancer is about home and family and feeling loved and cared for in this world. This is Cancer feels everything. And so it's a very vulnerable placement for Venus. It's like definitely our deepest insecurities coming up, and especially around where we don't feel worthy, because we're having this whole activation of this new timeline. But in the activation of the new timeline, it's like, oh, yeah, so far away from where I've been comfortable. It's not a time to be comfortable right now. It's a time to bust out of the seams. But the real busting out of the seams and the sprouting of the seed and the anchoring in of the new timeline, really, the energy for that is not until December of this year. So right now, we're like having a glimpse, we're feeling into it, we're knowing it's real. But then that in itself has to show us everything that's in the way and everything that doesn't align with this new energy. So this is definitely the story with Venus, Black Moon, Lilith. Where do we not feel held and cared for and connected to source, to mother? And where have we not felt safe and cared for in this experience? So Black Moon Lilith is not in a body out there in the sky. It is a point in space. It's the furthest away that the moon's orbit gets in its cycle, and so that's shifting and changing. And so this is like Venus is passing behind the moon, in a way, like going to the dark side of the moon, going to the deepest, darkest secrets of the feminine in this conjunction. And it's kind of like, all right, now we know we've pandered around this black hole of suppressed emotions and bullshit and programming that keeps us playing small and safe. And now we got to go right into the center, And it's powerful that we have this activating fire energy to support this. And then Venus is showing us what's in the way, what's been still hidden in our psyche. Because right after Venus comes out of this conjunction with Black Moon Lilith, still close in the conjunction, it will be moving into a square with Chiron. So it's like linking this Black Moon Lilith square Chiron energy that will be coming back as Chiron goes retrograde. And so Venus in square to Chiron is fighting for her life. She's fighting for that connection to source. It's a life and death battle to get her back to mother and source, but she's finally feeling worthy. It's like gather that strength to get over this hump. You never thought you would make it, but you're almost there. And so that's kind of the feeling. And it's like this phoenix energy of Venus the goddess trying to rise again. But for the goddess to be reborn, she's got to be reborn in each of us, not just men and women and female bodies. We all have feminine and masculine within. So what does it mean to rebirth, to cleanse, heal, and rebirth the feminine within you? And this is what we're going to be exploring. So that Venus square Chiron peaks out right after next weekend, right after that new moon in Leo. An incredible set of astrology, because that's right when Mars is going to be joining Uranus in the North Node for this timeline activation. So Uranus awakening a new vibrational frequency. North Node, how are we going to get to where we're going? We got to awaken a new frequency. And in Taurus, we got to embody that frequency. We've been looking out there at that frequency. Like, ooh, yeah, look, isn't that neat? It's almost like taking a substance to experience a state. And now that state is coming as your regular everyday existence. Oh, I know. So this Mars coming in, Mars is action. So it's like action on a new timeline that's embodying a higher frequency vibration. But guess what? Mars, as ruler of Scorpio, coming into that conjunction with Uranus in the North Node, is opposing the South Node in Scorpio. Venus at the same time trining the South Node, right? So our masculine and feminine, both in relationship to this South Node and supporting this excavation, right? Because underneath the deepest, darkest secrets and lies we've been telling to ourselves and programming and our shame and low self-worth and all that, under that is our treasures. And so much about this Taurus activation is uncovering our worth. If it's a wealth revolution, the abundance is you, supernova souls, with your incredible soul experience that you don't even know you have. but it's been causing all kinds of problems. And isn't it about time to put that shit to work for you and for us and for the world? To have that feeling that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing right here at the right place, the right time with the right people. That's what's coming. And there's an excitement to that, right? And yet we're like, Jupiter about to turn retrograde, squares, oppositions. Wait a minute. Whoa. What do we need to do here? Because I don't want to make a leap partially and like fall into the canyon, right? We want to make it all the way across. And so we got to get our ducks in a row. And what does that mean? Because we're discovering who we really are and the true parts of ourselves. And almost, from the very beginning with the supernova story, we've been getting this message that supernova souls have this way bigger part of themselves that hasn't been able to fully incarnate. It's not a different person. It's not a walk-in. It's not a different soul. It's you in your advanced wholeness that couldn't quite all the way come into this dense reality. But landing that home, especially when it starts to happen really rapidly, you don't know who you are. You don't know how you got into your life. You don't even know how to navigate to get through the day. And then the effect of this incarnation of this bigger self is an automatic activation of the electromagnetic field. Mysterious technological energies available in our very own body that have been, so much has gone into keeping us from this information. And but now we're kind of in a pickle because we're activating into this and we don't know what's happening and we don't know how to work with it, right? We don't have the manual. We don't know what in the heck's going on. That's triggering this fear programming as well. The more we activate, we can't find the fear programming that we've all been programmed with as advanced souls around coming into our true potential. We can't find that until we begin to move in that direction. And it's very different from spirituality in the past. Like say maybe pre-2012 where we're like, oh, I really think I want to spiritually activate. I'm going to do some Kundalini. And, and now it's like, whoa, slow down. What's happening? So we got to figure out what's going on and get comfortable. And, it's that picture of the spinning top. And as it begins to spin, it's like all over the place. And a really strong and powerful energy with this Taurus activation saying, yeah, you want to go, you want to create this world, you want to make some shit happen, but where are you now? Because supernova souls haven't been able to feel loved and held and cared for because they've been rather persecuted in their lifetimes, they haven't been able to rest and feel safe here. And so this is actually a deliberate program because when you don't have your root and you don't know where you are, then you can't operate in the way you'd like to in other realms. And so we're finding our way home. And as we incarnate this bigger self, we're literally incarnating heaven on earth. Can you let that be real? It's what you've always dreamed of. And it lives within you. And nothing can stop it. So this is the feeling we're having. It's like, oh, nothing can stop this. We're tumbling in. So one of the energies around this is that Mercury is cruising right along in Leo, coming into an opposition with Saturn at 22 degrees. Aquarius, Saturn at 22, Mercury at 22 Leo. And that opposition, Mercury and Saturn rule time and our relationship to time. Saturn, the big cycles of time and timelines, and Mercury, our day-to-day experience of time. So it's also got this energy, but it's an opposition. So it's almost like a tug of war, right? Ooh, yeah, I can relate to this. Like in and out of the old timelines, new realities, old realities, and trying to straddle those worlds. It's so exhausting. But what's keeping you in that old world? Loyalties, a responsibility outside of yourself. It's really important right now. Supernova souls, huge energy around this Leo new moon is a new start, new timeline, new chapter in shining your light, which means you have to contain it. You can't give it out anymore. You have to take responsibility for what you have been a part of creating and receiving from source. This is where it's like, so you don't even know the power you have, but it's driving you crazy. And how do you own it? How do we own it and say, yeah, I'm here. I got this. I'm doing it. This dream, this vision is what brings it all together for all of us in linking all the work we've done over many lifetimes to co-create this new experience here on Earth. And so the Mercury Saturn opposition is like kind of challenging our placement and maybe challenging our yes. And are we going to stay in between and straddling worlds? Or are we going to go ahead and let go of what's keeping us in that old reality? Because for the most part, supernova souls are surrounded by people who aren't, you're here to lead the way, so they're not going with you at first, maybe later. This is maybe something we really need to get in our heads. Because if we're trying to drag them, we're stuck in the door. It's really difficult, but we have gotten the message around the Aquarian age and the new age that we have to have our sovereignty, because we can't claim our power if we're leaking it out to the people around us or to energies we don't understand or know, or organizations or agendas, right? And so there's this requirement, and this is coming up for this new Leo new moon activation around our sovereignty. It's that for many lifetimes, you've had to broker all kinds of deals to stay safe and continue your work here. Now it's time to reevaluate all contractual arrangements and consider and entertain the role that you may need to and the importance of being a free agent at this time. How can you be on the divine plan, vision, agenda that you know is possible? That's the only thing that makes sense. It's like, you have this within you, those Gaia codes. But if you're not willing to own it, and how can you listen to the messages and follow while you're managing loyalties to the outside? So a lot of this got triggered over this last week with Mercury, then the sun opposing Pluto. And so now we're in this fallout because it's like the timeline's careening in like a runaway train. And are you on, are you off? And what has to get resolved? I'm kind of seeing like a spider web or like a tangle and some knots as we jump through the portal and then we get sucked back. So that's what this astrology is about, is showing us what needs to be addressed, cleaned, healed in order to make this leap into this new timeline. And it's a very crucial, very important time to try to bring your energy right here and make sure that you're following your heart and soul and in alignment with the highest possibility and the greatest good. And just keep bringing yourself back there moment by moment to those Gaia codes, to that possibility, to the beautiful energy of what's coming, and let your soul ignite, but understand that it's a little bit of an implosion as well. And that's okay. Because, when you go to clean your closet, it's not going to, first of all, the whole house has to get messy. You got to pull it all out. And that's where we're at with these Venus transits. Venus, Black Moon, Lilith, square Chiron, trine South Node. And so it's like, got to face the darkness and claim that rebirth. And we can do this harmonized, and a powerful reflection with the South Node. So Venus will be coming into a sextile with Mars. And very powerful energy for this. Venus just came through a sextile with Mars. And so it's like they're talking to each other and now they're moving on to their story. And Mars activating the new timeline that requires new self-worth and a complete reevaluation and cleaning up of our shadow and mystery side. And then claiming that Phoenix rebirth and the new chapter that lies ahead. It's a bright future. And the beautiful thing about these times is that we're getting a glimpse of that. Grab a hold of it. Take that any fear energy that comes up around it, and just see that it's very close in vibration to excitement, and just move it over to excitement, and trust and know that you're fully prepared and you have everything you need to make this transition. And keep breathing and keep loving and keep coming back to where you're at in order to reaffirm your location and presence and yes to being on Earth, because that says yes to New Earth and what we're co-creating here in this beautiful experience. So I hope that you will consider joining the new moon activation. That's Thursday. It's going to be 10 a.m. in Mountain Time in the US. It's $10 and it's an opportunity. It's a guided meditation. It's a time to come together and really tap into these energies, use our group consciousness to open up to information, solutions, and healing and support for our journey together. A lot coming up around our sovereignty, breaking those contracts so we are free to shine and that we feel safe and supported, right? The support we've had in the past, supernova souls, has been about control. Okay, so a big thing that's going on is recognizing how most of your relationships, how you thought maybe there was love there, but it was really about control, because that's all you know. And how do we go from that situation, healing ourselves, into like opening our heart to true love experiences, true support, where you really are around people that really want to see you shine and succeed. That brings them joy. Most of supernova relationships, you'll find, the story that plays out is like they're trying to hold you back because there's this energy working through them from lifetimes. They're supposed to be keep you in check, keep you safe from your own power, keep you as a possession for the family, an energy of ownership over your soul. So these are deep and profound contracts that can be pre-Earth evolution, galactic type contracts, and very, very sticky. But it feels like we don't know for sure what comes up in the activation, but that's definitely on the table with this astrology. So we'll see what comes up there, but it's definitely about owning and stepping into this bright future and new experience, a new chapter, supernova soul, being present and witnessing this landing of this new timeline. It's like the timeline kind of is trying to come careening in, but it's almost like if you drop oil in water and it just goes, because we can't vibrationally receive it yet. So the next 5 months is about what do we need to do to vibrationally receive this highest timeline. Wow, is it being shown to us? So anyway, I hope you'll join. You can consider joining that guided meditation. So this is the Leo new moon activation. And the replay, if you can't make it in your time zone or you're busy at that time, don't worry that we're working outside of time, and that replay is available for you whenever you're available. And you can get the information, the downloads, the energy, the activation joined together with this supernova soul tribe field that we've created with these events. It's so exciting and beautiful, where the dream lives, and we can little by little, as we're ready, one by one, begin to literally embody this dream on a cellular level. That seems to be what this massive timeline alignment energy is about, happening when Mars, Uranus, and the North Node come together. And that peaks out on the 2nd of August. But we feel that energy starting at the new moon. So the new moon is like, boom, it's a marker. It's a new vibration. It's that bell, ringing out, the drop of water, the ripples are ringing out vibrationally, singing the song of new possibilities. And then, of course, what does that mean in the fallout of the feminine healing? And what do we need to adjust and change and clean up and heal in order to get to that vibrational reality? So I'm so glad we're here together, supernova souls. Massive strides are being made right now, huge energetic activations. Be present and receive. just remember that you're here to lead the way and be the cup of God and open up to this DNA activation. This white light energy that's coming into our world right now and it's available is an override of the programs. It's a complete defrag. It creates a defrag situation on the AI technology that we've all been infected with. So receive that white light on a cellular level. Breathe it in, breathe in the prana, and know you're right here for such a time as this. And we're here together. And thank you so much for being here and being with us. So I look forward to seeing you Thursday for that Leo new moon or on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.